My guest tonight has inspired generations young and old. She's the most successful female artist of all time. She's a singer, an actress, an author, and a mother who's continually reinvented herself. She's an icon of our time. She is Madonna.
That's Parkinson, next. Material Girl confesses all.
Why do people who do this not do the same for commas and question marks?
Parkinson, sponsored by Prudential. Straight talking.
My very special guest tonight is arguably the most famous woman on the planet. For the past 20 years or more, she's defined the sound, the look, the sexuality of pop music and its surrounding culture. She's a dancer who survived living rough in New York to become the lady of a gracious English manor house, the queen of all she surveys.
Monday, yes, I return to London. They have a royal movement from 10:40 to 11:20, and so we can't land during that slot, so I wanted to know if you wanted to push up or back.
What is royal movement?
That means either the queen or one of her children are coming in and out, and we're not allowed to land.
Did I say I wanted to leave at 11?
You did.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
What if we left at noon?
Fine.
Would that be even better?
That would be even better.
And that's good for royal movement? Does that work for two queens in that country?
Welcome, please, Madonna! I think they're pleased to see you. You get that impression?
Yes, you guys have all come to my... I'm here to audition.
Yeah, for my pub.
For your pub, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So
precisely.
I hope you'll all give me lots of support, because I need a job, so...
That's right. And for God's sake, don't only come to my pub. It's a very small pub. OK, so you... Let's first of all get a kind of medical update, because the last we heard of you, you've fallen off a horse and
yes.
broken several bones in your body.
Yes.
What's the situation now? Are you on the mend or what?
Well, I hope I'm on the mend. Yes, I am. I'm still doing rehab and getting ultrasound treatments, which are really boring. But I can lift my arm this far over my head, and I'm doing good.
And, I mean, how many bones did you break?
8.
8 bones?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want me to show you?
Well, it'd be nice. I should be first. You've been back on a horse since?
I have. Although I was told I shouldn't ride any horses till I was finished promoting my record. But I couldn't resist. Yeah, last weekend I went riding.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk now about the record that you've made, because actually it takes you right the way back, doesn't it, to where it all began for you in New York, 70s,
yeah.
That scene, that
Dancing.
dance scene, all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. And how tough was it for you in those days, living in New York? I mean, you're a young girl, you came up from Michigan, you left university, you went there to be a dancer.
Yeah.
It's a tough city, it's a tough job.
This is true. How was it for me?
Yeah.
I have to say it was the loneliest times of my life. Going there and not knowing anybody, not having any family, not knowing what the future held for me. But I had a bee in my bonnet, and I refused to believe that success wasn't there waiting for me. I didn't care how many years it took me. So,
What was the bee in the bonnet, exactly? Could you define it?
have you ever been to Michigan? No, I'm just kidding.
I just imagine Barnes is a bit like Michigan.
No, it's lovely, but if you're a creative person and you don't feel like you fit in with conventional, thinking, then you want to go to a big, thriving metropolis where you can find other oddballs like yourself.
But when you say that you didn't fit into conventional thinking, in what sense was that? Was it?
Well, I didn't shave under my arms. I know, it's really gross. But I had this thing when I was in high school. I don't know, it's obviously, it happened to me way before I started making music, but I always hated doing what everybody else did. It's just something that happened when I was born, I guess. And if girls wore makeup, I didn't want to wear makeup. If girls shaved, I didn't want to shave. If girls did certain things to get boys' attention, I did the opposite. Of course, no one ever asked me out because of this ridiculous behavior.
You're a wallflower?
Yeah.
You?
Yeah.
Very, very difficult to believe.
But it does explain my pathology.
But also, too, I mean, you suffered at that time, you suffered the loss of your mother, too, hadn't you? And that obviously had a profound effect upon you.
Yeah, it did. And I also felt like that. I decided to form a, Dead Mothers Club. And you could only be in my club if your mother died. And I didn't know anyone else whose mother died, so I was the only one in my club. It was kind of pathetic. But, yeah, I mean, I did feel rather isolated and lonely as a child, and then when I moved to New York. But I'm not feeling sorry for myself. I think it was good character building.
And of course, I think I'm right in saying that because of your mother's death and your father remarrying, that it caused problems again. You were sensitive, you were raw, and you fell out with your father.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. It was hard. I think everybody who has a step parent knows that it's hard to accept a new authority figure in your life, and I couldn't accept her as the replacement of my mother, and I'm sure that a lot of people understand that feeling. I gave her a really hard time unfairly, and also my father was very strict, very Catholic, very conservative. I mean, I literally I couldn't leave the house without my skirts being a certain length and half an inch off my knee, and I had to go and change, and I guess I had to rebel against all that. So I had to turn my father into the enemy, which he wasn't.
Yes.
But
there you were, going along to these auditions, and you're saying getting knocked back. I mean, rejection is the most awful thing for an actor or for a dancer.
Yeah.
And particularly a dancer, it's like a meat market, isn't it? It's very brutal, that auditioning.
Yeah.
In your documentary, actually, you revisit this. You talk about it when you're actually picking dancers yourself, and you say that dancing is a dog's life.
I do think that, but it's a really rewarding life too.
Yes, yes. How on earth were you earning money to actually keep yourself, to keep body and soul together?
Well, you're not going to believe this, but I did nude modeling. Shocking. But it was artistic. It wasn't like page 3 nude modeling. It was for art classes, for drawing and painting classes, and I was a dancer at the time. So modeling for all these different art schools gave me the freedom. I would run in, get my kit off, as you say, and pose for a couple of hours in some fantastic sort of ballet poses, and then run off and go to another class or something. So.
And that paid for the rent and all that stuff.
This is true,
And how about, I mean, did your dad ever come and visit you in New York?
Yes, he did. He came to visit my cockroach-infested apartment that I lived in, and he was absolutely horrified.
Was it really bad?
Yeah, it was, yeah. It was, but I wanted him to know that I meant business, because he kept coming to New York and trying to get me to come back to go to university. And I said, you don't get it, Dad. I don't want to be a doctor. I don't want to be a lawyer. That's it. I want to be an artist.
Well, I mentioned the documentary that you made, which is a very revealing insight into the way that an artist works and the collaboration, the hard work that goes into it. And I want to show a clip now, and it's really, you have a prayer meeting before you go on. And this one's been taken by your father. Oh. Right? As you said, he's a very religious man, and you put him through an awful lot.
Yes, I have. I'm sorry, Dad.
But it's a charming scene. Let's have a look at this.
Heavenly Father, thank you for the blessings you bestow on all of us, the life you have given us, the air we breathe, people we spend our life with, give them strength to endure and to go on with their performance. Thank you for all your blessings.
Amen.
Amen.
Dad, I'm gonna swear now. Don't be upset, okay? We're gonna tear the roof off this fucker. Ooh. Because we
Rock the house!
because you
Are the shit!
because I
Am the queen!
because he
Is your dad!
You see, I love my dad. I needed him to be tough on me and strict with me, because that's what turned me into a rebel. If he would have let me do anything I wanted, I wouldn't be here today.
What was the time of reconciliation, though? What brought you together? What changed you and your attitude toward him? You can rationalize it now, as you are doing.
I think when I had children, when I gave birth to my daughter, when I realized the responsibility of being a parent, it dawned on me, like it fell on my head like a brick, all the sacrifices that my father had made for my very big family, and I felt really bad for all the hard times I gave him, and how much I felt bad that I didn't appreciate him more, and that was the beginning of our friendship.
Yes. And was he waiting for that moment? Had he been waiting for that moment?
If he was, he didn't act like it. My dad's very sort of low-key about things. He doesn't,
Well, he certainly is, isn't he? Because there's one bit in the film where you actually do this astonishing performance, and you come off and he says, I think that was rather good.
Yes.
I mean,
He's always been a bit withholding with me. I mean, he's kind of, he works in a vineyard and he makes wine and he's a total workaholic, and he's kind of really clueless about all the things I do, except when I tell him that I'm doing them. And in a way, I like that, because I don't get any special treatment from him, and when I go home, I've got to do my laundry and, do my own cooking, and nobody waits on me, and I don't like that.
Are you your father's favourite singer?
No, I'm not.
Who is?
I'm sorry to say. It's a toss-up between Tony Bennett and Celine Dion.